I'm always talking about pushing girls away. I'm talking about keeping them at arm's length. I'm talking about not giving a shit. Well, how do I show her that I like her? Because if you don't show a woman that you're interested in her, she is eventually going to leave you. The problem, of course, is that most guys show too much interest too soon. They compliment too much, and they compliment only about her looks and about things that are physically appealing to them. She's heard it 100 times. It gets her irritated, and it telegraphs tons of interest. So we don't compliment looks. In fact, we don't compliment at all in the first conversation until...
Welcome to the Unapologetic Man Podcast, the only podcast that's all about self-improvement, confidence, success, women, and being a man without making any apologies for it.
What is up, gentlemen? Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the UMP. I super appreciate you tuning in again. Have you noticed how awesome my video has been getting? My boy Liam, my awesome podcast editor, has stepped up his game a lot. We got these awesome trailers dropping. He's doing all kinds of cool things with the effects. He's panning in, he's panning out, he's panning left, he's panning right. He's using some really cool B-roll. So I just want to give a shout out to my boy Liam. The guy's an absolute legend. In fact, watch this, boys. For those of you who are watching on video, he can change the background behind me. At the snap of my fingers, there will be fire. Now there is water. Now there are a bunch of hot girls. I have a harem behind me at the snap of my fingers. Ooh, I like that one, man. Let's keep that up for a few seconds. Liam, you're a fucking champion. Super appreciate you. Today, we're going to talk about what to say to a girl to make her feel truly special. Now, as you may have noticed in my podcast, for those of you who've been listening for any amount of time, I'm always talking about pushing girls away. I'm talking about keeping them at arm's length. I'm talking about not giving a shit. I'm talking about the drop rule, which basically says that you will drop the girl without a moment's hesitation. I'm talking about the Mark Sing bracelet that says, what would I do if I were dating 4 girls? The very bracelet that you should think about every time you're making a decision with a woman. What would I do here if I were dating 4 girls? Now, obviously, a lot of my coaching runs around being unapologetic. That's why I named this podcast the Unapologetic Man Podcast. There's a lot of pushing her away. There's a lot of showing her you're not to be with. There's a lot of communicating that you have options and that you're the prize. She's the one submitting the application. You're the one being chased. You have to set that precedence for girls to get attracted to you. Now, this often leaves the question, well, how do I show her that I like her? Because isn't it true that if I don't show her that I like her, if I'm constantly pushing her away and telling her I don't need her with my actions, not my words, when I'm telling her that, isn't she going to lose interest and possibly leave me? The answer to that question is absolutely yes. If you don't show a woman that you're interested in her, she is eventually going to leave you. The problem, of course, is that most guys show too much interest too soon, which, as we all know, chases girls away. This is where I teach one of the most important things I teach of the many rules that I teach. There's one that I avidly share with you guys on the podcast. Most of the other ones I keep as a secret for my boys in my 3-month coaching program. But one that I avidly share because I want you guys to know is the 80-100 rule, which basically dictates you only give her 80% of what she wants from you. In addition to that rule, there's the Barometer Rule, which basically says she's the barometer for your escalations. You don't escalate in any way whatsoever until she's ready for you to do so. Which, if you think about it, is a little bit ironic because in a way, she's controlling the pace of the escalations. You don't kiss her until she's ready, so who's really controlling the pace of that? She is, but you lead her there. And this is the complexity of dealing with women where you have to know when they're ready for something, and then you take them there. You lead them to where they want to be led. So while you're the leader, you're constantly looking for signs from her to when she's ready to be led there. And this is one of the most important elements, which is she's the barometer. You don't escalate until she's ready, but you also only give her 80% of what she wants from you. She wants to hang out with you 5 times a week. You hang out 4. She gives you 5 compliments, for example, which is what we're going to talk about today. You only give her 4. It's 80%. And it doesn't even need to be hanging out or compliments. It can be things like, how much is she touching you? How much is she leaning into you? How much is she laughing at your jokes? You want to give her 80% of that. Now, going back to the compliment thing, one of the biggest mistakes that guys make is they compliment too much and they compliment only about her looks and about things that are physically appealing to them. And I get it, boys. I have talked to some of the hottest girls on the planet. And sometimes you're talking to this chick and you're just looking at her and you're like, bro, like her ass cheeks are the fucking gates to heaven itself. Her eyes are so angelic green. I'm just getting lost in them. I have to say something. And you guys know what it's like. You're compelled. It feels like some spirit is like trying to make you say it. You just want to say, dude, your ass is so banging. Or damn, your titties are so perky. How'd you do that? Or, oh my God, your eyes are emerald green. I just get lost in them when I talk to you. But boys, and I hope you know what I'm going to say, do not compliment a girl on her looks, especially if she's attractive. Before this podcast, I was chatting with one of my guys in my coaching program, and he's like, well, I know I'm not supposed to compliment girls on their looks, but what if she's unattractive? And I'm like, Jerry, you certainly are in week 2 of the program, because this program isn't to teach you how to get unattractive girls. This program is to teach you how to get really hot girls. And when it comes to a really hot woman, don't compliment her looks. Now, when it comes to an unattractive girl, I guess compliment her looks. That'll make her feel good. But that's not why we're here, is it? We're here to get attractive girls. And attractive girls hear it all the fucking time. So do not say it, no matter how bad you want to. Tell her that her legs are so fucking sexy, or you can park a Volkswagen Beetle inside her thigh gap. Don't fucking say it. And don't telegraph that you want to have a festival in her vestibule. Do not telegraph that you want to run her cheeks. Calm the down, friend zone her, as I talked about in my previous episode, and do not telegraph so much interest, which includes complimenting her before she's ready to be complimented. And this is the preface for this episode. You want to learn what to say to a girl to make her feel truly special? The first law is don't say it until she's already saying it to you, making you feel special or complimenting you or showing interest in you, right? Wanting to hang out with you, touching you, even standing there, continuing to talk to you when, say, for example, the conversation drops. These are all statements of interest. And what we do is we gather those up kind of in our mind, right? Like we're like, okay, she touched my arm. She's laughing at jokes that aren't funny. She's pointing her toes at me. She's invading my personal space. Yeah, perhaps she hasn't complimented me yet, but that's still a lot of interest that she's showing me. So if I'm to say that I have 80% to give back to her of that, how much is that? Does that like equal a compliment? And then you decide, yeah, that equals a compliment. Okay, cool. I'm going to go and lay a compliment onto her. When that happens, as I said, do not compliment her looks. You want to compliment something that's going to make her feel unique, because every single guy compliments the same shit. Oh, I love your tattoo, for example. Oh, your hair is blue. It's so cool looking. Like these obvious things. Do not point out, do not compliment, and do not focus on anything obvious about her. Instead, you want to read her energy. And immediately, I can tell you, one of the best compliments you can give a girl is about her energy. Hey, you have a really cool energy about you. I feel like you're really positive, like you have charisma, which means you leave other people better from having met you. Have you ever heard that before? Girls go apeshit over these compliments. And yes, that's the way to make them truly feel special. To point out something that nobody else recognizes. To say something to the effect of, there's something in your energy that's rare. It's got this softness mixed with mischief that's dangerous in a good way. Now, obviously, I wrote that before I sat down to record this, but that's good. There's something in your energy that's different or rare. You see how that is, boys? It's like she's being called out about something that no other dude recognizes. And then you could do a cold read. It's got this softness mixed with mischief that's dangerous in a good way. It's kind of like a cold read mixed in with a compliment. But complimenting her energy, complimenting her conversational skills, complimenting her intelligence delicately now, like don't be too try hard with it, but saying, you know what, most girls I talk to in this nightclub, I got to be honest with you, they're a little bit thick-headed. It's not the most interesting conversations, but I actually enjoy talking to you. You're pretty smart. And saying that to her from the perspective of you approving of her from like up to down, not down to up, trying to kiss her ass, put her on a pedestal, but instead kind of like you're the teacher rewarding the student for good work. That power dynamic I always talk about is the way to compliment a woman. You compliment things that most guys don't compliment. You observe her, you recognize her, and being able to call out her energy, particularly when she's speaking about something she's passionate about, is really powerful. So oftentimes what I'll do is when I'm speaking to a woman, I'm going to be gauging what she's interested in and what she's not interested in, how her energy shifts, how her body language shifts, how perhaps when she talks about, say, dancing or like ice skating, which is a conversation I got into last weekend with the chick. She was super into ice skating. I could see her body language change. She got a little bit taller. She got a smirk on her face. Her eyes widened. So what am I thinking? I'm like, okay, let's talk about ice skating. And I did have one compliment in the bucket because she was pretty interested in me. So I said, you know what? I can tell you're really passionate about ice skating. I feel like you should pursue that somehow, like whatever it is for you. But I just saw your energy change. You became really animated. You became really happy. Like that's good energy that you have. When you're doing stuff that you're passionate about, Melissa, I can tell your energy is really intoxicating. And dude, when I said that to her, she fucking melted. What did I do? The same shit I've done to thousands of chicks. You observe what they're happy about, how they view themselves, which is a huge thing to remember, boys. How does this girl view herself? How does she want you to view her? Then compliment that. And again, never about the looks. Because if you compliment a hot girl about her looks, she's heard it 100 times. It gets her irritated and it telegraphs tons of interest. So we don't compliment looks. In fact, we don't compliment at all in the first conversation until, again, she starts telegraphing compliments towards us. She starts showing massive interest in us. Then we can throw out a couple of compliments. So compliments are like landmines with women when they're miscalibrated and, of course, when they focus on her looks. Now, guys, I want you to stay tuned until the end because I have a bonus tip about how to react when women are complimenting you. So stay tuned, but I have to tell you, I just got an email from a guy who just joined my 3-month coaching program. As a lot of you know, I do NLP, neuro-linguistic programming. If you want to jump ahead, don't do it. Just listen to me real quick because this is really fucking cool. So this guy comes into the program. He's got a lot of insecure issues, one of which is he doesn't feel like he's enough for really hot girls. He feels like hot girls are above him. He gets stifled. He goes into screensaver mode. So I built out his custom 3-month NLP protocol. I sent it to him last night and literally right before I started this podcast. And I get these fucking emails all the time. He emails me. This is what he said. I just did the first NLP protocol and I really don't know what to say. I mean, I started with a pit in my stomach by just thinking in my head, I am not enough. And a quick side note, guys, is before they do the NLP protocol to literally remove belief systems like a splinter from their brain, I have them say it to themselves and see if they can get a feeling associated with it. So he did that. And by the way, this guy's name is Charlie. Charlie did that and he had the pit in his stomach. So then he goes on to say, I had a pit in my stomach just thinking I'm not enough and felt anxious and worried. Now when I think that same exact phrase in my head, I feel absolutely nothing. I am beyond excited for the rest of this NLP journey, which I didn't even think was possible. Thank you for taking me on and believing in me, Mark. I really appreciate it. That's the power of NLP, boys. You have a feeling I'm not enough or I'm ugly or she won't like an Indian guy or an Asian guy, whatever your issue is, and we remove it like a splinter from your brain. Therefore, creating a space for us to build up the opposite belief, which is I am enough. I am attractive. She will like me. So here was my reply to him, and we're going to get back into the content. Just listen to this. I said, bro, that's exactly how this is supposed to work. You literally rewired your brain in one sitting. Went from feeling that gun punch of I'm not enough to feeling nothing when you say it. That's your subconscious dumping the old program and replacing it with something neutral, which is the first step towards replacing it with something empowering. This is why I always tell guys, NLP just isn't fluff. It's a weapon. You just prove to yourself that change doesn't have to take years of grinding. Now imagine stacking session after session over the next 3 months and knocking out limiting beliefs one by one. That's the power of this program, boys. This is why I literally have over 500 testimonials on my website, as well as video testimonials, case studies up the gazoo, because this works. If you want to explore working with me, where I will literally remove belief systems like a splinter from your brain and replace them with empowering belief systems that will make you attractive to women, Apply at the link below. I'll be looking forward to talking to you. All right, boys, back into the content. So oftentimes when you are with girls, they're going to compliment you. The question is, do you throw compliments immediately back at her, or do you just accept the compliment and move on? What I always do is the latter. I always accept the compliment by saying, thanks, I appreciate that. Or thanks, I appreciate you recognizing that. Basically taking it on with the confidence of knowing that what she said is true. And then what I do is I log it in my head, right? Like she gives me a couple compliments. She really wants to hang out with me. She likes me. I'm like, okay, cool. I got 2 compliments for her. But if you do it immediately after she says it to you, it's kind of a cop-out and it looks more like the norm of reciprocity, which dictates you do something nice for me, I do something nice for you. I scratch your back, you scratch my balls. And this isn't the connotation that we want to have if we're trying to have a festival in her vestibule. What we do instead is log it inside your head, recognize that she said it, say thank you, I appreciate that, never deny a compliment, always say thanks, I appreciate that. Or at the very most, thanks, you're not so bad yourself. But what I do is I log it and then I'll have a couple in the bucket that I'm going to throw out when she's already at an emotional peak. So for example, with the ice skating chick, she's talking about ice skating. I can tell her experience is up, which by the way, I created that in her because I asked, what would you do with your life if you had no chance of failure? She's like, I'd probably be a professional ice skater. I've been ice skating since I was 5 years old. I love it. I'm in competitions. She starts lighting up. And then I said that thing, your energy really changes when you talk about ice skating. I can feel you have that charisma. I feel like people are left better from having met you when you're in that state. So I think it's important for you to pursue something where you can be in that state full time. Dude, she was on cloud 9. I complimented her the right amount because I didn't go over the 80-100 rule, which once again dictates you only give her 80% of what she's given you or 80% of what she wants from you. I made her the barometer of my escalations, meaning only when she escalated, both with compliments as well as interest in me, did I compliment her back, and I didn't compliment her looks. And believe me, she was banging. She had those ice skating ass cheeks, but I didn't look at her like I wanted to run her cheeks. Instead, I held myself back. I did not telegraph I wanted to have a festival in her vestibule. And instead, when the time was right, I complimented her on her energy. And that's the skill, boys. So can you make a girl feel truly special? Yes, and you absolutely should. At first, of course, you friend zone them. You kind of keep them at arm's length. You understand the drop rule, the 80-100 rule. You are dropping frame and game, which of course I teach in my 3-month coaching program to a very deep level. You're running gambits. You're doing attraction building triggers. You're flipping attraction hot switches in her subconscious mind. She begins to telegraph interest, showing you that she's interested by touching you, laughing at jokes that aren't funny, flipping her hair, licking her lips, pointing her toes towards you, hitting you on the arm when you say something silly, and or complimenting you. You bank a couple compliments. On the right time when she's on an emotional high, you compliment her energy. Now she jumps in the air, double backflip, gainer, swan dive right onto your dick. And you're looking up at the ceiling as she's giving you the sick duck. And if you don't know what sick duck is, switch the S and the D. You're looking up at the ceiling thinking about me, being like, thank you, Uncle Mark Singh. And I'm like, bro, don't think about me. I'm in your visualization. I'm like, stop. Don't think about me. Go away. Other time. No homo, bro. Don't think about me. And you're thanking me because I get you those results. Guys, if you get results from my podcast, just imagine what I could do for you in my 3-month coaching program, where I hide the creme de la creme secrets and where I remap your mind with neuro-linguistic programming. You can experience the same success that all my guys get if you just apply. Click the link in the description below, put in your application, and you and I will talk. All right, boys, that's it for me today. I super appreciate you listening. As a reminder, I drop podcasts on Mondays and Thursdays, so please stay tuned for the next one, and I will see you in the next episode. Guys, don't look at her like you want to run her cheeks.